Hey there folks, welcome back to The Magic in the Music. I'm Jen. Today I want to take a moment to talk to you about a brand new documentary that has just debuted on Disney+. The new Disney Plus documentary, Howard, follows the life and career of legendary Disney lyricist Howard Ashman. And if you're thinking, I've heard the names Ashman and Menken before, you are right. Ashman and Menken very famously worked together on The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and Beauty and the Beast. So this documentary explores the life of Howard Ashman, and it talks about his career, kind of the creative influences that brought him to the point where he ended up working at Disney. The film covers his childhood, his education, his personal life, and his career as a writer, director, and as a lyricist. He's most known for his work on the Disney animated films The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and Beauty and the Beast. But he also experienced success in the world of New York theater and also a lot of success in the world of musical theater. Ashman helped usher in the Disney animation renaissance, which began with The Little Mermaid in 1989. He also had a remarkable career outside of Disney. He was not just a lyricist, he really was a storyteller, a visionary, somebody with an amazing sense of how to tell a story through music, dialogue, and lyric. Unfortunately, his life was tragically cut short by AIDS at the age of 40. But his creative legacy does live on, and his story is definitely well worth hearing. Something that I loved about this film is that his connection to Disney, while it is an important connection, the filmmakers didn't allow that to totally eclipse everything else that he did in his career. He had a vast body of work on other projects, and so his work with Disney really was the last few years of his life, and I felt that the film balanced that out actually very well. You might be wondering, is this an appropriate documentary to show to my family or to watch with my family? Well, I would say as a parent, I would say that it depends on your ages of your children and sort of the dynamic of your family. I have a 5 and 6-year-old, and I can honestly tell you that this documentary would not hold their attention for the full, it's about 90 minutes or so. It would not hold their attention the full time. And it has like a little tiny bit of more adult themes referenced here and there, but it's not explicit. There's nothing that I would not want my children to see or hear. I just don't think that they would feel engaged the whole time. Now, if I had an older child, maybe like a 10-year-old or up, older children definitely could handle this, and they probably would have a lot of interesting questions that would come up from this documentary. So I think it really could be worthwhile to watch with an older kid. And maybe have some discussion, maybe as a parent kind of jump in and say, hey, what did you notice about this? You know, see how people are reacting to this. What does this say about society? What things are different here than how things are today? And so I think there are like a lot of really great kind of launching points for discussion that can be brought up through this documentary. If you are a musical theater fan, this documentary is definitely a must-see. In addition to the Disney stuff, you're also going to see production photos and videos and things of Little Shop of Horrors, as well as Smile, which was another musical that he wrote as well. And so there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. As some of you may know, Jodie Benson, who later went on to voice The Little Mermaid, was actually in Smile. So there are all these great production photos that show her. You also see production photos from the filming. The film version of Little Shop of Horrors. So you would see Rick Moranis and Steve Martin, Ellen Green, lots of really cool stuff. And anybody who is like a fan of Disney history is going to see these great old photos of like these management and kind of executives and people who had some creative control in the Disney company and Disney animation studios. In particular for Disney fans, I think the biggest highlight is getting to see these recording session videos, these clips of them recording the tracks for The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. It was an absolute treat to get to see and hear these. Not only to see what the process looked like as an instrumental musician, seeing what that technology looked like at the time, recording these. It's fascinating. Also seeing the performers doing these songs live. You get to see Jody Benson, you get to see Angela Lansbury, Jerry Orbach, Paige O'Hara, and Richard White, and they're all recording these iconic moments, and some of them it's actually the track that they end up using in the film, which is just absolutely amazing. And in addition to that, you get to see Ashman working with them. So in my mind, I think I imagined that all these choices were choices that the performers were making about like inflection and pausing and doing this, and actually Ashman was in there with them, and he's coaching them through and saying, well, I want more pause here, and then, speak this a little bit more and make this a little louder. And, and it's like, wow, he had this vision of exactly what he wanted it to be. And you get to see little clips of him coaching those performers as to how it should be. And so I think for me, it like really changed the way that I listen to those performances moving forward. This documentary was really beautiful, really poignant, really moving, sad in places because his life was so short. And in the last few years of his life, he did know that it was coming to an end, and he knew that he was working on some of his very last work that the public would ever hear. And so I think that's really poignant. I think it's a credit to his vision and skill as a performer, as a storyteller, that he wanted to work to the end to put out the best possible storytelling that he could. The documentary, Howard, is a fitting tribute to this amazing talent whose work and influence has reverberated for decades. I know that I can't even imagine my childhood without that iconic moment of Ariel singing part of that world and reaching up toward the light, this aspirational I want song of what the main character is all about. How many of us identified with that character when we were young, and just to know that that iconic moment came from this brilliant artist is amazing. Even more amazing, you find out in the documentary that they wanted to cut the song. And so Ashman worked really, really hard to advocate for that song and fought to keep it in the film. And I personally can't even imagine the film without it. I think it would be, it would have lost a lot of its soul. So thank you for that. And thank you for making something that was so iconic in my childhood. And I know the same for a lot of you. So I would highly recommend the documentary, Howard. It was entertaining, fun, poignant, moving, and it changed the way that I'm going to watch and listen to those Disney musicals and his other works, his other musicals as well going forward. If you get a chance to check out Howard, now streaming on Disney Plus, definitely take the time to watch this awesome documentary. Hey folks, if you find this video helpful, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button below. You can also hit that bell icon, and it lets you know when we have brand new content. Hit the like button as well, and maybe comment below. Ask us a question. We love it. We love to hear back from you. That's all for us today. Remember, there's magic in the music. Bye, everybody.